back to open session. Can I get a certification of closed meeting?
I'll do it.
Thank you, Dr. Jones.
Whereas the Accomack County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative record vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas section 2.1-3771D of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Accomack County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered.
Motion, and also second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Can we please stand for the pledge of allegiance and afterwards have a vote of silence?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, start. Can I get the roll call, please?
Mr. Spidell,
Present.
Dr. Johnson,
Present.
Mr. Neal,
Here.
Ms. Handy. Here. Mr. Whipper. He is not on the Zoom, but I switched him here, so we'll wait for him to join. Ms. Turner. Here. Ms. Bowman. Here. Mr. White.
Present.
Mr. Taylor.
Present.
Dr. Miller. Present.
Is he there? Or? Okay, well, we'll go on. Recognitions 5.0, Young Runs Responsibility.
Okay, our employee of the month, we are gonna go ahead and do January 1 next month. The employee of the month could not be here. But we do have one recognition. Ms. Holland, can you join me? So Ms. Holland is the assistant principal at Accomack Elementary. And it was brought to our attention by our transportation director that we were having some behavior management on one of our buses, and so Ms. Holland got on that bus and of her own accord when nobody asking her to. And so we wanted just to recognize her for going above and beyond and helping out our bus drivers and just being willing to go that extra mile. And so, thank you.
Actually, Danielle, like, do the whole board, because they
The
can
whole
act
board?
as a team.
Okay.
Okay.
Just teasing. I don't want to be in any picture.
Okay, you guys group together, come on. Okay, Miss, or Dr. Johnson, you gotta be in the front. You're smaller. Miss Turner, you wanna get, behind? Miss Bowman, slide behind. Mr. Spidell, slide this over, there you go. Perfect.
We got a picture.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Next time. I get a motion on the approval of minutes for the 12/09/2025 meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
We got a motion and a second for the meeting minutes. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Approval of the vouchers. Can I get a second? A motion on that, please.
I'll make a motion we approve the vouchers.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the vouchers and a second. Any discussion? All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Approval of personnel. Can I get a motion on the personnel list?
I'll make a-
Okay, so we got a motion on the personnel as well as a second. All in favor? Opposed? We need to,
Mr. Spidell?
Yes.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Handy?
Yes.
Mr. Whippert? Ms. Turner? Ms. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes. Okay. Staff presentation, so discipline committee update.
The discipline committee met on Monday, I think it was January 12th. We heard 2 cases, and both of those cases were adjudicated, and the students have been informed of what they need to do moving forward.
Thank you, Sandy. Anybody needs questions?
So there was one case, but 2 were heard, 1 was listed, 2 were heard. Trying to understand.
Yes, so there were 2 cases that were heard, and it was unanimous, so really, it doesn't come in front of us, so,
You didn't get this, the whole board didn't get.
well, on there, it just shows the case, but it doesn't show the actual.
I think the documentation for that under the closed agenda may be missing, so the details we'll add those.
Okay, thank you. Finance committee, I asked Ms. Owen, if you can please give us, we had to cancel the meeting due to emergency, so we could not meet that night, so I asked Ms. Owen to kind of give us a quick little brief.
Sure. On the federal programs, we now have a final approval for Title I-C Migrant and Consortium Incentive Grant, Title II, Title III, and both of the IDEA grants and the Perkins. Title V was approved today, and so that means we have everything approved except for Title I and Title IV. I'd also like to report that there were no findings on the school board or against the school board in the county audit nor on the county. And that being said, our carry forward is now finalized. So we would like to move ahead and possibly have a public hearing on our February 17th meeting. So that would be carry forward federal programs, because all are approved at this point but 2, and we do have estimates on that we can use, and our state grants and initiatives. So we'd like to have that on February the 17th. And then that will make our monthly reports more meaningful, because then then the next step after we go through the public hearing and then vote on what we want, then we still have to go to the board of supervisors and have it appropriated. So those would make our monthly reports more meaningful, because there would be budget figures where we lack budget figures. So,
Everything that you sent out was pretty much in order.
right, as far as the operating budget,
Correct.
it's pretty much just another month down, no big changes.
And we had a short month last month.
Yes, we did.
Thank you so much. The policy committee update.
Policy committee met on Wednesday, January 14th. And all the policies were voted in favor, with the exception of EVED, which was discussed tonight, which is that we changed to, am I correct on that? Yes. Was the cell phone.
requests?
As information items, you have a series of overnight field trip requests to review. These are going to various places listed. They've all been looked through with the chaperones and the numbers and the locations off in front.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
so I asked some questions, and they were answered with the possibility, before the meeting, about adult to student ratio. And the only thing I think that remains is, I believe it was Manua High, there was a question about whether a third adult should be included. And based on the number of students, my individual thought, I'm open to others' thoughts, is that yes, given that number of children, I'll find which one it was.
So policy IICA-R, the regulation, details what the ratio is for chaperones. At the elementary and middle, overnight is a 1-to-3 ratio, and high school is a 1-to-10 ratio.
10. Okay, so they would be okay with 2, because it's actually 20.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That was the only remaining question. Thank you, and thanks for answering earlier as well.
Thank you, Dr. David. Right. American Welding Society and field trip.
So this one is brought slightly atypically in that we are asking it both as an information and as an action item. The reason being that these trips sometimes occur in quick order based upon their ability to have judges set up to get it going. These are welders going to a competition in Delaware. It had been scheduled at one point and then it had been pushed off until they could get the 3 judges. We just want to have permission for our welding students to go up there in the competition. But we are uncertain at this point of the date, but it is out of state that comes to the board since it's going to Delaware.
And all these will vote on when we're good after action items. So. Human resource update?
So Dr. Garrison could not be here tonight due to, some things that he has going on, but he has attached his update, and if there are any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me and I can get answers to any of those questions for you.
Manua High School is fully staffed, that's correct.
Sure.
Any other questions?
I have one, but I'll email Dr. Miller.
Okay. Accomack primary update. Mr. Bennett.
Good evening. This is actually gonna be more than Accomack primary, but we'll start with Accomack primary, I think, Yep, there we go. Still in the demo phase. I know some of y'all like to see pictures. Everybody wants to see these pictures because it shows a lot's been done. These right here, if you look at them closely, you still where that steel beams at, that was the original floor level. So we've removed everything down to the earth. There is what it's gonna look like. I'll hit on the windows real quick. That's the windows that are going in. Whoops.
Sorry.
Need time to look at it. So that's what it's gonna look like when we're done. All these selections on interior finishes, exterior finishes, and all that went through a selection committee, and it was done a while back. To answer the window question, the windows are in production. I talked to TST 2 weeks ago to confirm that. These are large windows. If you look at some of the ones behind the trees, you can see that, they're really big. But that's where we're at on that. This project's running, still on schedule. They're still looking at a March, April 2027 timeframe of being done. We had a few things that we weren't expecting related to asbestos and some steel where it was and where it should have been. So, but we're working through most of that. So we've had no significant change orders or anything of that nature that I've had to go to Ms. Owen about so far, so that is good. Knock on wood. I think next we'll talk about Pungatee Gym. There's what it looked like 2 weeks ago, and last week, I think the next picture shows a little bit more work. They're waiting on a rough-in inspection. This project is it's on schedule, but if we get the weather they're talking about us getting this coming week, we will probably end up a month behind on this because they don't have the floor in place yet. The slab's not been poured, so it will probably put us behind. So everybody keep your fingers crossed that we don't get any snow, just rain. Nandua's ahead of that, going back to Pungateek though, if they stay on schedule, it'll be a late May, early June. Nandua's ahead of them, they got started a little bit early, we were able to get through the permitting process a little bit smoother there. Next picture shows they've got the slab in, they're laying the block. They're anticipating being done with this one 100% in late May, we'll do punch list, so it should be done in early June. Shinnecock Elementary School, we're looking at the possibility of a gym up there. The picture on the left, where you see my really nice square black box, is the potential site. Yeah, I wasn't in like art school, so, but that's what we're looking at.
90-degree angles.
Yeah, somebody needs to help me out there. The picture on the right is more important than my crude one on the left. The picture on the right, you see that brown cover there, that's marshland. We don't want to get in marshland at all, because if we do, we got to deal with a lot of people, Corps engineers and stuff like that. So we're doing our best to make this where it's going to be outside of the marsh. We think we've got enough footprint. Right now, we don't have anybody on board, architect, engineer, anything like that, but the next slide, we are pretty sure that the concept of the gym we're building at Pungateek will work at Shinnecock Elementary as well. It has all the amenities that we would need in an elementary school gym, so that's the footprint we're working with. We've started early conversations with the architect on this project. Everything would be the same, but the connector to the building would be different than what we can do at Pungateek. We've got some elevation changes at Shinnecock we got to work with and work through ADA and things like that. But we're hopefully have somebody on board with us in the coming months to kind of move this thing along.
So you were saying about the brown, is that something that
Go back.
you did? Or does that include, like, I'm sure there might be a buffer?
Well, the brown is actually the line. That's where it's defined. We can go right up, based on the information I have, that I've gotten from both architect and I've talked with, and up to Shinnecock, met with the town manager, stuff like that. As long as we stay out, there's no buffer on that.
Okay.
But we'll have a buffer there because we're not gonna build right up to it. I think we've got ample room. You know, you can kind of see the wood line on the left and see how we can do that. So I think we've got adequate room because my black box is so uniform and everything. It's a lot bigger than the gym would need to be. So we have ample room there to do that.
Thank you.
So before we leave Shinnecock Elementary, what's our timeline on that one?
On getting the gym,
Well, I see the concept, but when could we expect to break ground or any?
it'll be a little bit because we're gonna have to, we gotta get an architect on board, get to engineering, the whole deal, and then advertise the bid. You want me to put you on the spot or not?
No, don't put anybody on the spot, and I don't wanna put you on the spot. And I just wanna say that, I mean, I'm disappointed because, and you know, I'm a fan, but you know, I know we walk and chew gum, and Pungateek's moving along, and Nandua's moving along.
And this is moving along, it's just a lot more involved up there, getting through this first hurdle of finding out where we could have a footprint of it.
Okay.
But I'm actively talking with architects right now, so, and we're trying to save money and see if we can make it fall under the current architect we're using without putting RFI out and all of that, so if we can't, we're gonna spend. Well, yeah, we had to go back and forth with our current architect about who owned the Pungateek plans as well. The architect said they owned them, we paid for them, we own them, so we're having a little bit of difficulty there, so that's one thing that's kind of slowed up the steps on when we're gonna get this thing going, but I'm working on it.
But you also have to go through the reviewing agencies too,
Right.
especially with this, dealing with that, wetlands and whatnot.
Correct. It'll have, all that'll have to go to the review as well, and to Accomack County. Next, the new Accomack Alternative Education Center. I'm not sure what bank it was, but it's a bank beside Keg Tank, you all know. We are inside there, we are actually starting demo today. We met with Dr. Miller last Friday, I think, and we got a vision and a plan. I don't know when we'll have it ready, but I told Dr. Miller we had it ready when school started in the fall. We're gonna do it right first time. We're not gonna piecemeal it. We're gonna get it the way it needs to be. and make it a nice building for alternative education and everything. We're gonna have offices in there as well, so, we've got some steps to work through on this one too, public versus private well, and different things like that, but we are moving forward. Any questions? I think that's my last slide. I have enough pictures this time.
Ms. Turner?
I would just say that I got a few phone calls from the nice folks at Accomack as well, and they did remind me that we talked a lot about keeping the outside of the building the same, and I remember us saying that, and as I'm looking at your picture here, it was even brought up that the mature trees needed to stay, and in your picture here, we have little teeny new trees. Does that mean that the big mature trees are gonna go
They're not
as
going,
well?
those trees aren't going anywhere.
And so we're gonna have, just so I'm clear, we're gonna have brown windows, but the
Bronze.
rest,
Bronze storefront windows, yes.
and the rest of the trim, is that gonna be bronze also, or that's gonna be,
Everything's bronze.
the columns will be bronze?
No, the columns are white.
Okay,
The
so
sign
you just
in
won't be
front-
matching the windows anymore? Okay.
It's just gonna be in the windows, because that's a typical type of, when you say bronze, that you'll see in a lot of other.
The windows we just removed from our, and I'm gonna upset people when I say this, weren't white. They were silver, they had been painted white. They were silver aluminum windows.
Yeah.
Windows we're putting in are much, they're 20, 25 windows. They're, but.
They're all special order windows, because they're all special order windows. They're
Yeah,
not-
one of the first things that happened, go back to the first slide. The reason all the plywood's on the windows on the top right is the windows were one of the first things to be done. They were taken out so we could get all the measurements on the openings, because these windows are made for the openings. They're not a stock, there's not a window we can order that's out of a catalog. They're all made to fit these openings. So the windows came out early on in this project, so the contractor could get all the measurements they needed, because it's a longer lead time item. It's not something that's available in a month or 45 days. It takes a while to get them, especially the number of them. There's a lot of windows in this building. So that's kind of why it started early on the windows, and that's the main reason I think when you contact me and other people contact me, I'm getting a lot of calls too. I'm just explaining the process, and that's all I can do is explain it. And, at this point, it is what it is. It's gonna be a beautiful building when it's done, so.
Who decided on the bronze windows?
Who?
Who decided on the color of
The selection committee,
the selection?
and I don't remember everybody that was on it. I know there were 2 board members on it. Mr. Hines was on it, I was on it, Dr. Hall was on it, Ms. Only was on it.
So,
They
Mr.
can
Chair,
mark it down right here.
may I, so I, at the known risk of sounding disrespectful, I will give this disclaimer and say that I am not a member of any historical society. We are retaining so much. It actually pains me to have to hear so much about window trim when we are retaining so much else. If we lived in a perfect world, I could see devoting more time and energy to this. And again, I've already said at the risk of being disrespectful, I hope that those who are concerned feel heard, and I also hope that we can move on, right? Because if I were an outsider looking in, I would probably say, gosh, really. And I'm inside, and I'm ready to move on.
I'm an outsider looking in, and I can say when this building's done, it's gonna be the nicest building in the town of Accomack. So, and it's gonna be Accomack County Public Schools too, so it's gonna be nice, it's gonna be a tasteful building. I think it's something the town to be proud of. I'm proud to have been part of the project, so. No more questions?
Thank you, sir.
Is there a committee, are y'all done with the committee meetings for the primary school? No more meetings?
I'm on the committee, and I don't know when we're on the next one, but.
There's nothing really at this point to meet about unless we make any significant changes that would come up, but I mean, everything's been selected. We're ready to move this project from where it's at now to completion.
And right now it's under construction, so it's really the construction phase, there's no decisions will like to be made, as you say, unless there's something that comes up that they find, like, okay, we have a major issue, which most likely.
I hope I don't have that come to you as a major
Correct.
issue.
Okay, Head Start MOU.
So these are the MOUs that were on the agenda for discussion. Last time there were a couple of changes just that we had to make, and so they're on there again. They'll come up for approval at the next meeting.
Thank you. ESRH Dental MOU.
Same thing.
Proposed budget presentation. Come on down, Ms. Owen.
So I've distributed a budget book to all of you tonight, but I have a slideshow presentation to kind of go over an overview. The first slide is the proposed timeline. Yep. And January 7th, that meeting did not happen because I had an emergency. January 20th, tonight, we would like to ask you tonight to have the budget public hearing and the budget workshop meeting, to have a specially called meeting on February 3rd. Then on the 17th, we would adopt the budget, and on the 18th, we would present it to the Board of Supervisors. The whole timeline is driven by the Board of Supervisors. The 18th is the last day. It's a regularly scheduled meeting in February, and it's the last day that they hear budget proposals from their departments. So everything's backed up from there. Kind of wanted to go over average daily membership and the concerning line of a decrease as of March of 2025. This is not specific to Accomack County. Dr. Miller and I learned at the VASBO conference that we went to in early January. This is statewide. All across the state, they're experiencing this decrease in ADM. ADM stands, as you see, average daily membership. There is a written explanation of what it is at the top, and you live and die by whatever your count is on March 31st. So when we receive our ADM count, and we submit the ADM for March 31st, sometime around the beginning of April, that will determine our state revenues for FY26. So there are two major determinations of your revenue, your state revenue. ADM, which is this, and then LCI, composite index, local composite index, which I'll talk about next. So this is just a slide I put together on the ADM analysis over the last several fiscal years. And you see the last line, we are going to go conservative and use the state projected. Over the years, I've usually been below what the state projected, but they've switched it. And now, last year we're like above it a little bit, but you've got to be careful with this because ADM does determine so much of your revenue. So we voted for being conservative and hope to be pleasantly surprised. Not sure where the box comes from there because it's not on mine, but sorry. The other determination of state revenue is the local composite index, which is basically the state's way to determine the wealth of the locality. You see ours went up a little bit from it's done every biennium, and it will be the same for both years. It went from 0.3487 to 0.3541. Going up is not what we want it to do. So we want ADM to go up, we want composite index to come down. So by it going up, that means that the state has determined that the locality should pay a slightly higher percentage of our total costs than what it was previously. So I've always said it's pretty much 2/3, 1/3, but any increase you see, we're now beyond 1/3, we're at 0.35. So that's the state's way of saying that they figure that the locality should pay about 35% of the cost, and they pay 65% of the SOQ cost. So the next slide shows you which of our revenue streams are affected by ADM and LCI. So you see that they have a very significant effect on our revenue stream. And any change, even though slightly, the LCI is not hitting us as hard as the ADM. The ADM hits us pretty hard. So the next slide is where does the state stand now? The governor released the caboose budget for FY '26, which is common. He did that in December 17th, and he introduced his proposed budget for the 26-28 biennium. The caboose proposal of the governor, and I'm talking about Governor Youngkin because this is standard procedure, the outgoing governor always submits their budget proposal. So he is proposing a state share. So once again, state share is based on SOQ and it's based on composite index. So it's the state share of SOQ positions for a 2% bonus for SOQ funded and support positions. So as with anytime they say SOQ funded and supports positions, whether it's for a bonus or further down for the compensation supplement, please know that SOQ funded we are staffed beyond SOQ funded. SOQ funded is like a bare bones base, and I think every school division in the state is staffed above that. So when they figure they're going to give us a bonus, or they're going to give us a compensation supplement, first of all, that local composite index of 0.35 fits in there. And then second of all, it's just for SOQ funded positions. And I don't mean as in, oh, a nurse is, but a guidance counselor is not. I'm saying that fourth grade at Accomack Elementary School, SOQ might call for 3 fourth grade classes, but we have 4 or something like that. So it's more pervasive than, oh, that position's not SOQ funded. No, we staff at levels above that. We were pleasantly surprised to see that the Accomack Northampton distribution, which used to be called a one-time distribution, it is still in Youngkin's proposed budget, and that is consistent with what we have received. He also included the state share of a 2% compensation supplements for both years effective July 1st. They also suggested a lower employer contribution rates for the biennium for the Virginia retirement system. There is one more decrease in there, so the total decrease, we didn't have the life insurance when I did this slide, but the total decrease rather than 1.17 is 1.21. So a decrease in that helps fund a raise in that amount because it's based on salary. So that'll help offset the cost of a raise. But between the LCI and the ADM going ways that don't help us, our state revenues for FY '27 are forecast to be $679,000 under what they are for the current year. So that's going to hit us. So what we have put in the proposed operating budget is, in talking to Dr. Miller, we're trying to go for a 3% salary increase because, you know, if there's a compensation supplement of 2%, everybody's going to do 2%. And we're trying to gain a little bit of ground there by putting in 3%. The 1.21% decrease saves us money. We have, as our society's changing, we're more, and I'll say the word wrong, litigious. Okay, I'm not very good at pronunciation, I'm with numbers. So I have 3 different areas that have increased legal fees because we've seen that a specific student or an employee can make legal fees jump. So I have spread that across 3 different areas, and school board, HR, and special education, because that tends to be when we're sued for a student. And we've also put in there to increase the employer's contribution. I'd also like to point out that the legal fees are very obvious because of these committee meetings. When we're going over line by line by line items, that's like, okay, we've got to add some more here. We will be going out for RFP. We meet with Heath Thomas of Mark III. It was supposed to be Monday, but he has reached out to me and said, I don't think I'm making the trip in 20 inches of snow. So we will reschedule that, and we will be going out for RFP. Similar to last time, we're going to go out for fully funded and self-funded options. So we're going to look at both fully funded and self-funded. So backing up one more, the total additional proposed expenditures are just over $1 million because we get to save $525,000. And now the next slide. So the decrease in state revenues Increase in local revenue. We reached out to Mike Mason and Leslie Lewis, and they're anticipating a $550,000 increase in local revenues. Perkins went up a little bit, but that all goes to Perkins. So we're down in the revenues, 124,000, and then we have additional expenditures of $1,032,000. So right now, the shortage, which you will see on page, I believe it is 8 of your book, which is revenues, it's either 8 or 9, shows that shortage of 1157 in there as we need to either come up with more revenue or cut expenditures. That's the amount we're out of balance with this proposal, but that's what the public hearing on February 3rd is for, and the budget workshop on figuring out, we can go to the Board of Supervisors with the budget being short because the General Assembly hasn't touched the budget yet. And as we know in the past, they can make significant changes to what the governor, especially an outgoing governor's proposed budget is. So we don't know what's going to happen until we get the crossover and the compromise and all of that. So we always go to the Board of Supervisors out of balance. The real work comes in this board when we get our final numbers, and then we have to figure out what we have to cut in order to balance. So this will be on after tonight on our website, and it is on board docs, so the public can look at it. And if you have any questions between now and February 3rd, please reach out.
So, any more members have questions?
I don't know if you'll know the answer to this, but from your ADM historical graph, it looked like over the last 10 years, we've lost nearly 700 children. When your meetings with the state, is that a trend that they foresee continuing? And are we going to lose another 700 in the next 10 years?
So they do, and they're actually looking at some different things, different bills and things that are in the House right now, and different bills that could come up that could possibly make that even a steeper decrease in ADM. Things like the giving the ADM to families to homeschool. So the state, if they do that,
Instead of a voucher.
then they will, that'll be giving the ADM to the private schools and charter schools, things like that they're discussing that could make that even more significant, and cause us some
And
headache.
do we look at our schools on a population by population base over the years? So can we see which of our schools has a declining population? I know it's the elementary
We've done
schools.
more than what we've done at this point. We have looked at homeschool, and over the past 2 years, I think, 3 years, this current year's up 20 kids from the previous 2 years, so that doesn't explain a lot of it. But I do believe we could do further analysis to see if we can narrow it down versus whether it's the northern end or the southern end or the island. We know that Tangier's been going down steadily.
Chincoteague has been shrinking as well.
So unfortunately, what it's gonna do to us is cause us to, not have as many employees.
Right?
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Elmer. School board meeting schedule.
Okay, since we are, working on getting everything back into line with what VSBA, suggests as far as timelines and reorganization, this would be the school board meeting schedule for, through next January. The things to note are that the July 14th meeting, there have already been several people that said that they wish to attend the safety forum. That is the 20th through the 22nd, I believe, yes. And so we did preemptively move that one up a week to account for that. And then we have the September 15th meeting. We had to move that as well, just because of closures for holidays. And then the December meetings, for the same reason that we moved them this year, with that last week being super busy, we went ahead and moved that week in December as well, just so that we could get everything situated, not have to make as many changes. The other thing to notice is that on the bottom for the discipline committee and the finance committee would be meeting downstairs in the board chambers for the board of supervisors chambers. So the policy committee would be the only one still meeting at MES.
And I guess that's because of her using that particularly, I guess.
Yes, the room is not available on
Correct.
Wednesdays.
Website preview.
So we have heard back from our vendor. We've been working on this since I started in August of '25. I'm going back and forth with the vendor, trying to establish what our new website was gonna look like. So this is your preview tonight, and then this website will go live tomorrow morning. So everything is much cleaner, fresher. Our previous website, which is still live with the red background and such, had not been updated since it was created in 2017, so that's why it took this long to get it updated. The coding to get in compliance needed time. So the pictures will be updated. Right now they're formatted for our previous website, so we're gonna be adding new stuff. A lot of this is just more interactive with hovering over, being able to see things, the color coding. Each of the schools' pages got updated as well. They're all uniform with their school colors, announcements, calendars, principal corners, and a picture of the school. So all of the school pages are exactly the same. The division page, right now, it's not showing all of our news because this is a hidden website. It's not live yet. So once it goes live tomorrow, it'll fill in with all the stuff we've been posting. The calendar is more accessible. ACPS at a glance, which we're hoping this will help with recruiting efforts as people are perusing our website. Similar to how the schools have a principal's corner, we have the superintendent's corner, and then quick links at the bottom, which I worked with our ITC coaches to establish which ones are the most helpful. So I will say, within the departments for our pages, I'm still going through and updating these. It's taking a lot of time to go through and figure out what resources on the website are still needed, and then also coming into compliance with what stuff is mandated to be posted on our website. So please have some grace as you go through, and if you find stuff that needs to be corrected, I do not take offense if you email me. So we're trying to get it updated. It's just taking time. So the first step is getting this beautiful facelift done. Any questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Johnson. I don't have a question, leave it to me to be clear. I really wish that we had more time to preview this. I was listening and trying to watch. I don't think it would have been, hindsight is 2020, but I don't think it would have been difficult to send us a link so that we could have taken a look. I don't expect that any of us would have found things that are not 508 compliant or things of that nature, but we are the school board, and I may be the only one, but we've waited this long for this facelift. I think it would actually be more appropriate to at least give us a 24 hours to look at it, right, rather than want something and have to take it down. I can appreciate, and I want to acknowledge, Mr. Chair, hearing that if we see anything, we can reach out, but it will already be out there. I'm done.
The stuff, when I say reach out about stuff that's on the website, nothing about the website is changing content-wise, it's just the look and feel of it. So the only thing that's changing is the actual background, so it's white instead of red, the drop-down, which is more accessible to view, and then the picture sizing, and then the just layout of the homepage. These are the only things that are different about the website.
I can appreciate, and I'm not at all debating, I can appreciate that the content is the same. The fact that the layout is different is of interest as well. Yeah, it is to me, but again, I feel heard, as Eduardo said,
If I may, though, I do have to say that, I really do appreciate your time and energy in this, and, I understand what you're saying, Dr. Johnson, but at some point, you just gotta go forward with it, and I think it looks great. I'm really happy with the way it looks, and I'm glad to see some updated pictures, which I know you've been working on that recently on the old, webpage, but, it's good to see current pictures, and just, I think you've done a phenomenal job, so I want to say thank you for this turn.
Yes, I want to echo what Mr. Taylor said. Thank you. Even in the last few months, just since you've been here, you've gotten rid of people that left the division 7, 8, 9 years ago. There was pictures of kids in middle school that I know graduated. And I appreciate you taking all the pictures and uploading this, and this looks much more current and fresh, and it's nice to see that somebody is taking care of it and taking pride in our website, because it was a site before. Thank you.
Anybody else?
And I will say, if we don't want it to go live tomorrow, it doesn't have to. The vendor is waiting on our approval.
Does the board want to vote on this, or do we just want to?
Mr. Taylor, I'm okay. I'm the only one that spoke, and so we can definitely move on. As I said before, just to address your question there, I'm okay. I'm okay if you don't vote. This isn't on here for action.
No, it's not, but, I mean, I know there was some concern that
Yeah,
we
I
have
feel
to,
her.
as a board, we want to work together, so.
I'm emailing Dr.
I just gonna ask
One thing, right now.
the picture with like Mr. Wicker in it, but his head is cut off.
Yeah, so like I said, the pictures that are on the website are current pictures that are on our red website, as I refer to it. So the pictures aren't formatted for this new one, so I'll have to go in and update those, with the sizes and that.
So it wasn't intentional, please? No, I mean, Jason drafted this, sorry about that, bro. All right, school board retreat. Dr. Miller?
There have been a couple of board members that said that they would like to discuss the school board retreat. I will say that I had suggested, I know several people had mentioned going to the safety forum, the school safety forum, and there have been several people that reached back out and asked and said that they would like to go. So my suggestion was, and it's just a suggestion, it's of course up to the board, the last day of that forum is, it only goes until noon on that day, so my suggestion would be that we would have the retreat that afternoon, since we'll have the majority and maybe the others can join us then as well, so, but understand that's not the direction, but that was just a suggestion, but board members had said they wanted to discuss it, so that's why that's on it.
You all want to discuss this evening, or do you
I can speak to it.
Sure.
I feel it's a good idea. I mean, we're always trying to think about safety for the kids here in our Accomack County public schools. I feel it's good we all go to the forum. I mean, yeah, some of us got jobs, but I feel that's a good idea. We get out there, see what they have coming up, what's going on. Let us all be as a cord. I mean, there's just a few of us going. It's usually we just report what we have, but it's not the same as we all being there, seeing it happen as what's going on. I'm personally, I told them to put me down. I'm going, I would like to see it, and it'd be a good thing. And like I said, it would be good for the team to get together, all of us get together afterwards and discuss what happened and do a little retreat. It's just a good idea. I feel that would make everything keep flowing and would be as one team.
Anybody else?
Mr. Taylor,
Yes, Dr. Johnson.
I'm one of the ones, I can't speak for the other person who went last year, and it is a great conference. So upon seeing the suggestion, just the part around all of us going to that convention, I would hope that everyone who can, and I realize everyone can, try to go. In terms of the retreat part, I would only add ever so gently is my intent that I think we're supposed to retreat twice a year. And so it just would, be convenient if it were possible to retreat at that time. I think we retreat in January, and our policy was supposed to retreat twice. I don't feel strongly about anything, around it, except that I plan to go.
I would like to see, whoever can go. I think it's a good thing that they could go and learn all that they can. I'm pretty sure with my work schedule and things that are coming up this year, I'm not sure with my vacation time and when I have to work to be able to take off for those 3 days. Unfortunately, with other things I may have to be doing, so, but if all who can go to the safety, I would love to see them go. Mr. Neal.
Dr. Johnson, you can speak for me anytime you want to. If I don't like what you have to say, I'll correct it. But anyway, I went with Dr. Johnson last, we were invited to one of the seminars out of the whole conference. And I felt very strongly with as much as we learned in the one half-day seminar that I would like to attend the full conference. And I will be attending as well this year. And again, just to reiterate what everybody else said, it's very, very, very educational to see what's out there and what we could do with what we're missing on the safety of our schools.
Dr. Miller, when is the time frame as far as when you would have to know that who all can go at that time? Like, is there like a cutoff time in this retreat? Is this with like the VSBA that I guess they usually have to have all 9 members come?
We won't have to have the registration until probably the day before.
And that date again was?
I think it's July 18th to the 20th.
But the retreat would be through the VSBA, is that correct?
So the VSBA is a sponsor, they partner with DCJS. Hang on just a second, I wanna make sure on those dates.
I don't think that's right.
It's July 20th through 22nd.
Right.
Yes,
20th to the 22nd?
yes.
The 22nd is the half day.
And the half day, the 22nd, is when you were thinking of doing the retreat. Will the retreat be with the VSBA?
We can do the retreat with whoever, that was just the time frame for it.
No, the reason I was asking is I think the VSBA says that in order for them to do anything with us like that, they would want all 9 members to be present,
Right.
or they wouldn't do that, so, okay. So if all 9 members couldn't make it, you will still do a retreat for those who didn't make it. Any other questions? Okay. Here's the big one, the superintendent's report.
Okay, we have been, SOL testing, we are about done, we are working on some makeup testing now. We do have, exams coming up, and part of the superintendent report is the amendment to the academic calendar, that you have there. They are forecasting snow for this weekend, and we did have our exam days on Monday and Tuesday, so we are proposing that we move those days up to Thursday and Friday so that we can get those exams in. That would make our start of semester Tuesday would still be a teacher workday, and we would start the semester then on Wednesday. Just trying to get those in before, because we cannot do a virtual day when we have exams going on. So if we leave exams where they are, we're gonna end up adding a day, or adding time somewhere, taking away spring break, or whatever we have to do to make up that day, because we would have to get a snow day, because that would be our exam days. So those would be the adjustments that we're asking for. That Wednesday is supposed to be a professional development day, and we did have some CIP in-person training for teachers that day. Have heard from a couple of board members that was requested by teachers, so we had that scheduled. That is very hard to do virtually, and so what we would like to do is turn that day, the Wednesday, would be a regular school day, and instead we would make that February 18th the professional development day. That was already going to be an early release anyways. So those are the proposals for the academic calendar adjustments. do have scores coming in, those are looking, pretty positive. We have some areas that we still need to work in, but there's always areas we can work in, so, we do have the second benchmarks, going on, and we are working on the evaluation system. We have mid-year meetings and mid-year goal reviews, so those will be happening here quickly too. Ms. Only and I did attend the VAS and MESBO conference, right coming off of spring break, about the budget, and she talked a little bit about that. So yeah, it's been pretty busy.
Does any board members have any questions on the academic calendar? Okay, I do, like, how is that gonna affect, I guess, our total amount of days that we have with, so like, say, for instance, we get this big snow, and, your Tuesday, Wednesday, just wouldn't happen, it would be virtual?
So, right, so Tuesday will still be a teacher workday, because that was already scheduled to be a teacher workday. And then Wednesday was scheduled to be a professional development day, but we're saying we'll make that a regular school day. In this case, we're probably thinking it may be a virtual day possibly, due to snow, and that way we could make that 18th, a professional development day, and it wouldn't affect the schedule.
But as far
We
as,
wouldn't have to add time anywhere.
as far as for classes and all, because I guess usually, but correct me if I'm wrong, but when the testing is, done, then usually you have that break.
It's done.
That's at the end of that semester, so if we do test early, what will students be doing, I guess, on that Wednesday? Or, you know, in the
On
summer?
Wednesday, they would start the third quarter.
Okay, so they will be starting that, okay. And then, how many virtual days do we have still?
7.
7.
Some of us have 7, some of us have 6.
What does it mean, 6?
We had to let the school out because.
Oh, that's right, so, okay. 6, 7.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. No, he didn't. Oh.
Sorry about that. Okay. Moving on.
Bleep that out.
Okay, action items, 8.01, amendment academic calendar. So I guess we just heard what Dr. Miller said.
Make a motion to accept.
Okay.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second on the academic calendar. Any more discussion, or are we moving forward? Okay,
With that, can I just say one more thing?
sure.
We do have, tomorrow, we will be at the Board of Supervisors meeting. The county audit is gonna be presented at the Board of Supervisors meeting, and we will be presenting the school, accountability report to the Board of Supervisors tomorrow as well. So if any of you wanted to attend that.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor for the amendment of the academic calendar, and we have a second. So all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. 8.02, carry forward funds, federal programs, state grants, and initiatives, public hearing.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we schedule the public hearing for February 3rd as recommended.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor for the public
It's
hearing.
February 17th.
17, I'm sorry. I wrote it wrong.
We have the public hearing for the carry forward funds and federal programs, that would be on February 17th from 6 to 6:30. And then we also have the budget workshop and budget public hearing, which would be on February 3rd. So it's 2 different things.
Okay, so
17.
Yes.
you want to strike
So
that
this is the
motion?
17th.
And then redo the motion?
I move that we hold that public hearing on February 17th.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to hold that public hearing meeting on the 17th.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. The American Welding Society field trip.
Make a motion to accept.
We have a motion and a second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Labor Day field trip request.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the Labor Day field trips. Any discussion? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Approval of budget workshop date. This is February 3rd.
Make a motion to accept for February 3rd.
Second.
We have a motion for February 3rd, budget workshop hearing. And a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. School board retreat.
Can't do a negative motion, right?
Nah.
So I don't know. I move to table.
Just want to make a motion to table.
I make a motion to table until we get more information from the board members.
Second.
So we have a motion to table the school board retreat and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. School board meeting schedule.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion to accept the school board meeting schedule and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. School board comments. Mr. Slidell.
I was happy to see Renee give us the report that the gym is on its way, or elementary school gym. I know it's going to have a little further out than what we would like. We'd like to have it yesterday, but I'm glad that it's moving forward. And I see there's some potential snow coming, and I hope that it is off for the weekend so that kids don't have to go to school later in the year. And that's all I have.
Dr. Johnson.
I'll share more specific detail with the chair, but I do want the board to know, and I don't want the public knowing that I have some medical issues going on that will result in surgery. So my physical presence may not, I may have more requests for remote participation than usual for that reason. That's all.
Give you no prayers. So,
Just want to say, hope everyone's new year is going well. If not, then we will hope and pray that it gets better. And congrats to the chair and the vice chair, and look forward to working with you all and trying to get some positive things done in our schools in the coming year.
Ms. Haley.
I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Spidell for supporting the NAACP's service on yesterday, and for Dr. Avey and Dr. Miller for supporting our movie screening. It takes a lot to do something like that, a lot of moving parts, a lot of contacting people out in Hollywood and just trying to get all that set up, so I was really glad to see them come in. I want to say to Mr. Bennett, the school is absolutely beautiful. If that's the rendering, if that's the correct rendering, I think it looks beautiful. To Ms. Clark, thank you so much for the redesign of the school website. And I do want to ask, I guess Mr. Bennett is the person, are we any further along? I know we're talking about Shinkatig Elementary Gym, but I had spoken, I think back in November, about us having a technical high school. Where are we?
Do I want to take it?
I got you. So right now, we have 6 projects going on, so it's definitely still on our radar, but we just need to finish up a couple of these things because we're spreading ourselves a little thin right now. Definitely very much on the radar and very much a next priority.
Wonderful. And lastly, the alternative education building, I'm looking forward to that too. That's beautiful as well.
Ms. Turner.
I apologize for all my coughing and sneezing. I've been noisy over here, but I just wanted to say that the discipline committee is going very well, and I'm happy to serve with my 2 board members, and I appreciate them showing up in person and taking it seriously. And we're really putting in the time that I don't know we would be able to do in a regular board meeting. So we're really digging in and spending time talking to these kids and these parents and finding out what's going on. And I just want to say that the discipline committee format is working really well. Thank you.
Again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming, Central Office staff, Bobby, appreciate the pictures, I'm the picture person. And you guys that are making come to feel like you're wasting your time because you don't get to speak, we'll let you speak next meeting, just let me know ahead of time. Danielle, thank you for showing us the website as well. I like pictures a lot better than talking, because your presentation was great, just not colorful like the pictures. That's, I'm just giving you a hard time, but thank you, everybody, thank you for your time tonight.
Mr. Wade?
I come in also like, Mr. Adam Glenn. Yes, thank y'all for coming. It's very nice that y'all be here. And like I say, the meeting flowed well. But I just got one statement I just have to make to the whole board. I feel that we all, whenever we have public comment, we all should give them people the time to be and respect them. Instead of we looking around playing, this person come up here and speak in a public forum, speaking to us. We need to give them all their attention. No flipping papers, no looking around. I'm sorry, we got to show professionalism. And I'm gonna say tonight, I'm just sitting here, people speaking, and all of a sudden, it was just disrespectful. And I'm sorry for that, but I just want to see this board to start being a board and respect our people that come to speak to us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, I just want to say I think it was a good meeting tonight. I appreciate everybody's patience with me being chair for the first time here. But I want to say thank you again, Danielle, for the wonderful job on the website. It's looking great and very pleased with that. And to say a little something that you said, Ms. Haney, about the trade school, I think I'm surprised that I've had a couple of people over the holiday mention about that. So I think it's something, like you said, in our scope. It's a little far away with all the things we got going on, but I think trades are something that we really need to focus on because we need these types of things. And not everybody, I think, is going to be going to college, so something like that is a good thing. So hopefully we'll put our heads together as a board and get together and start discussing this. Everybody just be safe out there. We'll just get the snow. With that being said, anybody like to make the adjourn? All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? You all be safe tonight. Take care.